Republicans are in a real bad spot if Lindsey Graham is the only guy they can trot out there to defend Donald Trump. You're not seeing enough people out there. If I was a Republican, I would think this, that, wow, why are they only sending dumb Lindsey Graham who can't handle himself and just caves when presented with the evidence? He can rail and act angry and his fake outrage that he puts forth, but we need somebody who's actually like a level-headed talker and has a little bit of reputation among the general population of the United States, not some moron like Mark Wayne Mullen or Tommy Tuberville. We need somebody who has some semblance of repute. And that's not Lindsey Graham. He was on This Week with Jonathan Karl, and wow. I have 3 clips. They're all about a minute long each, and it is just a roller coaster ride. It begins with Lindsey Graham making maybe the stupidest argument, trying to say that John Kelly, that his criticism of Donald Trump being a fascist, a guy who worked most closely with Donald Trump in 2 capacities, 1 as the Homeland Security Secretary, and 2 as Donald Trump's longest serving chief of staff with an office adjacent to the Oval Office. He has a connecting office to Donald Trump. That's how closely he worked with him. But Lindsey Graham, who was in a couple meetings with Donald Trump, thinks he knows better. But he's trying to say that John Kelly, the child separation policy initiator, implementer, the 4-star Marine Corps general, the guy who is a combat veteran, he is a Democrat. That Donald Trump was so magnanimous about appointing people to his cabinet and within the highest levels of aid in his administration that he was just appointing Democrats willy-nilly. Watch this, and we'll cover the other clips.
Well, let me ask you about where Trump is right now. I mean, we had this extraordinary event this week. John Kelly, who, of course,
I heard that.
was his Secretary of Homeland Security, his chief of staff, longest-serving chief of staff, saying that he's a textbook definition of a fascist, that he wants to be a dictator, and he said a lot more than that.
He has, and he lost his son in Iraq, General Kelly. I know him. I've had a good relationship with him, but he's undermining a concept that's been good for America, I think. Our generals have sort of been apolitical. He's entitled to his opinion. I just categorically reject it. 3 weeks before the election, you're calling basically Trump Hitler, a fascist, is not going to resonate. What happened to joy on the Democratic side? They went from joy to now Trump is Hitler. That's desperation.
What happened to the joy on the Democratic side? They went from joy to Trump is now Hitler? John Kelly's no Democrat. John Kelly's no liberal. John Kelly is a conservative, to be sure, an actual conservative. And I think the next clip, it is explained by the fact that he knows that's a stupid answer. These are done in linear fashion, just from time to chronologically. I think he realizes that's stupid, so he starts doing the Lindsey Graham thing that should be patented or trademarked just for him, which is to start acting angry and getting aggressive with his face and the way he talks. And here, he's starting to say how dangerous it is that they're doing this now, calling Donald Trump a fascist. It's dangerous. It's inappropriate. It shouldn't be done. Watch this.
How about a little self-reflection about the job you did before you criticize others?
I mean, I could go through all the good things you've said about all 3 of those.
Yeah,
men. And look, Donald Trump.
That was before they weighed in and turned America upside down. Donald Trump using rhetoric that's dangerous and is off base. So they decided to do this. You're the ones that want to weigh in. Okay, if you want to call him Hitler,
they didn't call him Hitler.
Well,
what they did is they warned
they're trying to scare
of what
Americans that this man can't fix the problems we need fixed. I reject that. I was there too. I was around him. I don't think he's a fascist. I thought he was a very strong president at a time we needed a strong president. I think he will be a strong president to get this country back on track, to revive our economy, to secure our border, and put out fires. They're telling you they want 4 more years of Kamala Harris and 4 more years of the same policy. To these generals, you're trying to tell America that things are good now, they're terrible now. And if she's elected based on your advice, everything goes to hell at home and abroad. So reject their advice.
Now you have been very critical.
You don't think he's a fascist, Lindsey Graham? You bootlick lapdog? You're yearning for the boot of Donald Trump on your neck and maybe somewhere else, Lindsey Graham. Of course you don't think he's a fascist. But did you hear him? He's chastising the dangerous rhetoric of calling someone, a presidential candidate, a fascist. It's dangerous rhetoric, off base. That's why the next clip that Jonathan Karl provided, which Jake Tapper should have provided in his interview for J.D. Vance, is actual evidence confronting the person he's interviewing with the thing that he just said was dangerous, confronting him with Donald Trump on multiple occasions doing the same thing.
Now, you have been very critical of the generals, 2 of them using the word fascist. Mitch McConnell and Secretary and Speaker Johnson have been very critical, saying this is inciting violence. How dare you call Donald Trump a fascist? Let me just play you a little bit about what Donald Trump has had to say about Kamala Harris.
The true divide in American politics today is between these far-left fascists led by Harris and her group. We have a fascist person running who's incompetent. She's a Marxist, communist, fascist, socialist. She's not actually a socialist. She's gone past that. Somebody's got to explain this woman. There's a radical left Marxist, communist, fascist.
So why don't you ask me, do I think Kamala Harris is a fascist? No. Do I think she's a communist? No. I think she's the most liberal person to ever be dominated by a major party. I think she's ineffective. I think she's incompetent.
That sound you heard was Lindsey Graham crumpling. Well, I don't agree that she's a fascist. What you agree or don't agree with, Lindsey Graham. Your entire job, your entire life's mission is to back Donald Trump's play, no matter how fascistic. What we do care about is what the man who's running for president of the United States is saying while his surrogates criticize the other side of the aisle for saying the same thing about him, which only backs the claim of his fascistic tendencies and leanings. So again, I guess I'll end where I started, which is the Republican Party needs better surrogates. They need better people out here who have more credibility to defend Donald Trump than Lindsey Graham, who is a traitor to his lifelong personal friends like John McCain, who he for years called his best friend and betrayed. He's betrayed his oath to the Constitution of the United States of America. He's betrayed any adherence or loyalty to democratic rule. He is craven. He is a bootlicking coward. But this is the best that they have in the Republican Party, so he gets trotted out on the Sunday shows. What do you think? I invite you to this conversation. You can comment below. That would be great. That'll help YouTube to share this content with new viewers. I would appreciate it very much. You can also leave me a voicemail, 714-576-4054. And of course, the old-fashioned way of communicating via email, daily@dollemore.com. I would very much appreciate it if you would consider supporting my work, helping produce these videos. You can click the join button below. For $2 a month, become a channel member, or you can navigate your browser over to patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. Same deal applies there, just a different funding mechanism for not just the podcast, but this show. I'd appreciate it very much. Follow me on social media. If you're already there, don't make a decision to sign up because I'm there, because it's terrible. But if you're already there, I am at Dollemore on Twitter, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Facebook, Blue Sky, all of them. Is Blue Sky even a thing anymore? I don't know. At Dollemore is where you can find me. Anyway, I love and appreciate you. Thanks for your engagement. I'll see you next time. Until then, be genuine. Take care of one another.